Okay, after cleaning, next thing you need to do is ready to processor brass, something that we can use. First up will be to lube your cases. There are many ways to do that. You always use the lube pad that comes with your press if it is the particular product you got. Or they also got like aerosol lube. This stuff is okay, but it gets kind of expensive. And they got homemade lube. This is not Simple Green, but this is a mixture of alcohol, liquid lanolin, and castor oil. I found it to be the best at keeping the lacquer coating from coming off in your die set and your press. And that's very important for the operation of the 5.7 platforms. Anyways, I'll tell you more about this solution in another video. You shake it up, give it a spritz. A couple of different angles. And that might be a little too much, but that's not going to hurt anything for what I've seen. Now while it's drying, I'm going to go over a few things concerning the 5.7 reloading on this particular thing. Now, first one is that it's not a cartridge to learn on. It's just like a 223 or something a little bit more forgiving. The reason why I say that is because any kind of double charging your case or a case malfunction will blow up your gun. That's a $1,000 to $1,500 mistake, and I do not suggest that. Consequently, because we're going to be doing single stage only. Some people do progressive stage on this particular item, but I don't recommend it at all. Of course, I mentioned the double charging, and also case life. Case lives can vary from 3 charges to 10 charges, depending on how much power you put behind it. I haven't got to that far in my experience yet. So I don't have any suggestions or aspects on that one. So, it's about ready. So, get your die set up. I've already had and set this die up. If you get the RCBS die set, you're going to have to set your decap and depriming rod a little bit lower than you normally would for your normal reloadings. It's because the cases have much room to move in, and if you do, you'll end up with crushed cases. Or actually even neck separations. Some of these I had, there we go, you can see right there what can happen if you don't have your die set correctly. So, that much going on. What we'll do, let's process these 8. Keep it simple. And what this does is it removes the primer on the bottom so that we'll be able to put some new ones in here. It also reforms the brass. That way it'll fit into your chamber better. All that. And you can already see some coatings come off, but that's fine. You don't, as long as it's not completely stripped off, you don't have to worry. Now some of these will come out just fine, some of these will not. There you go. Next step is to trim your cases. Trimming is probably the most involving step because it takes forever, especially if you have a handheld crank, or this right here is from Lee. It's a hand kind of trimmer, and it comes with like a little base that you put together, and you can do it with your hands, or you can mount one of the pieces to a drill. I do a different way. I'll show you another video about that. I actually mount the trimmer into the actual chuck of a drill, and it vastly increases the actual trimming process. I'm going to take my hand primer loader, and I have an extra base plate, that way I can go quickly between the different things. And I'll just do it. just like that. Trim cases. Now if you're using a hand crank or anything else, it would be even a little bit longer than that, but that's that. Next step is to deburr and camphor. Since you're using a drill, you can also use the Lyman case care kit. You can use the bits in this kind of drill, or any other bits that might come across. Might be able to find them cheaper. So just go in there. That's done. Go to the next one. That's done. Next step is, if this is your first time doing the brass, we might need to swage or get rid of the crimping. You can do that on the drill using one of the bits that comes through this. I don't like that. It doesn't seem to work well for me. So we go ahead and use the swaging kit. What that does is it will push the crimping into the case. And you're not removing any material, and that could actually strengthen the case itself. This is just an RCBS single stage swage die. And what it does is that when you run the case up into the die, it crushes the swaging to the sides, thus making it easier to put your primers in. I do it because it's easier to clean the primer pockets, which is the next step, and that makes it a whole lot easier. Just like that, we're done. Go to the next step. This is the primer pocket cleaner scraper. And I just there, case prep is done. Let's see you in the next stage. Well, we just got done processing our brass, and well, guess what? We have to do it again. Why? Because all the burrs, all the primer pockets that have been cleaned, all that residue is still there, and since we deprimed, we can get a more thorough cleaning through. So, yep, more water with simple green. Don't like it, don't reload it. Well, there we go. 400 pieces of brass. They're dry in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. When you do dry them, you want to look at the primer pockets and make sure there's no water there. If you got like a bubble, that's a sure sign that it's not quite done. But yeah, they're pretty dry. Now, there could be a disadvantage to doing it this way, is that if your dehydrator gets too hot, it can weaken the polymer coating on these things, or if it's lacquer or whatever it is on these things. Simple as that. If you got a dehydrator that damages them, probably just want When I air dry them, let them sit for 24, 40 hours under a fan or so. It's the next step.